Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a quick unboxing and first impressions. I have not owned an iPad in over a decade, and recently I went through and I consolidated streaming platforms, did a whole bunch of just housekeeping, and it kind of went back to the ad-driven model because it was just getting really expensive. Well, in the process of that, I also upgraded internet speeds and a bunch of other things, just again, trying to consolidate, find the best deals out there as I do. And part of upgrading my Xfinity service and upgrading phones that were due to be upgraded, they said, you know what, we'll give you a free iPad as part of the upgrade, and it won't cost you any more than you already are paying a month. As a matter of fact, it would be more expensive to get these other services without the iPad. So for me, it was a no-brainer. So for what you're going to get to see is a quick unboxing and first impressions of something I'm probably not going to keep for me. This will probably go to Melissa and the kids. Matter of fact, I know that's where it's going to go. But it's not the newest iPad. It's the A16. But compared to what I used a decade ago, I'm just really interested to see what it looks like and the differences. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'll see you here in a minute. All right, so here we are with the iPad A16. And again, I haven't owned an iPad in over a decade. The last time I had an iPad, I was working at the IU Indianapolis, the Indiana University Indianapolis McKinney School of Law in the law library. So it's a long time ago. And I always loved the iPad. I didn't use it as a laptop replacement, but I did instructional technology. So I would use it to test out what courses would look like on iOS, specifically an iPad, what was compatible, how the file formats transferred over. I would use it for consultations with faculty members, to take some quick notes. I had a keyboard cover that I used with it, and absolutely loved the device, and I used a program called Splashtop to be able to remote desktop in and help my in-laws. It was just a nice little quick, easy device to be able to do a lot of really cool stuff on. But we're going to go ahead, we're going to unbox this. We're going to look at kind of what the unboxing experience is with Apple. Again, haven't done this in a long time. These pull tabs are kind of interesting for the device. So we'll go ahead and pull those off, and then we will turn this back over. Very meaty packaging. I mean, it's very thick cardboard, and it's kind of that wax paper feel. Let me see if I can get this out of here. And they don't make it easy. There we go. So we'll go ahead and set that over to the side, and then we will pull out the iPad itself. I like the wax paper. Again, very much into sustainable packaging when at all possible. So the wax paper is a nice touch. We'll go ahead and pull this off, and we will look at the iPad. That out of there. And I got the blue. I didn't get to pick any of this, and this is a darker blue than what it looks like is showing on the camera, but very nice. Very nice screen, obviously highly reflective, so definitely different than the e-ink tablets. And this isn't something that I normally would review because I just don't tend to use these tablets as much. Obviously, this is all of your documentation of different things. You get your USB-C to C and a charging brick. So it is nice to see it comes with a charging brick. A lot of times that's missing from current unboxings and current packaging. So I do like to see that. Now I have an anchor dock, so it's probably not going to be something that I'm going to use a lot. And we'll try and get this out of the glare, but it might be pretty hard to do. But we'll start this up here in just a second. Let's go ahead and get rid of all of our stuff here. And let's see if we even have any charge on this. So obviously you have your speakers. So you have speakers there. You have speakers here as well. It does also have a microphone. It's got pogo pins here on this side. I would assume that's for the Magic Keyboard or some other, and it's got the volume rockers here on the side. This particular one is Wi-Fi and cellular capable. I think that's primarily because it came from Xfinity. Let's see if we have uh, any charge on this already. So I'll hold down my power button there and we'll see if this boots up. It looks like we might be all right. Already seeing fingerprints, which of course is something that you get used to if you have an iPad. But it's starting up and booting up. The colors, I will tell you, are very vibrant. You can see that this is a very well lit room because of my windows, but hopefully uh, it's not overpowering. So let's let this go ahead and boot up. And of course, it's cycling through some different languages here. So actually, that was user error on my part. It's been so long since I've had an iPad, I didn't even know where to start. You actually have to drag from this bottom part right here. And then I would select English. And then, of course, I will select United States. And then I have some different appearance options here. I can do default, I can do medium, or I can do large. We'll go ahead and stick with default for now. I'm sure I can change that when the time comes. Say continue, a quick iPad setup, set up without another device. So I'm definitely going to do that. I will choose a Wi-Fi network. So give me just a second here. So we are turning it on to Wi-Fi and hopefully that will go pretty smoothly. We'll cut over if we need to. All right, so here we are. We've got the data privacy, so I'm going to go ahead and say continue on that. Age, obviously, I'm an adult. Some people may or may not agree with that. Touch ID, do I want to do that? We'll go ahead and set that up later. There's no reason to mess with that right now. Don't use. Create an iPass passcode. So we'll go ahead. Wow, that was a lot of settings. Okay, so I didn't show you all that. There was just too much. If you want to look at how to set up your iPad for the first time, there are plenty of videos for that. I'll probably drop some in the description below. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit to make this a little bit less dark or less light on the screen. I'm really getting some reflectivity here. So let me go ahead and try that. Okay, that looks a little bit better, I think. So here we are with the iPad. And again, I haven't had one of these in a long time, well over a decade, but it is pretty cool looking. And it reminds me very much of the interface that I'm used to. I will say one thing, it's a lot lighter than what I used a decade ago. It also feels just way faster. Just moving on the screen, you can see how quick and responsive that is. I will get this updated to hopefully iOS 26 just to see what the differences are and kind of that new liquid glass feeling. And then I'll probably do a little bit more content on it before I give it over to Melissa and the kids and then have a little bit more information. But right now, we're going to leave it here. I'll go ahead and maybe record a few things at a later date and put all that together in one video. All right, we have the iPad all set up here. And as I've mentioned before, it's been a long time since I've had an iPad. I went ahead and got logged in. I absolutely love this little device. I will tell you that it's not something that I would use for anything other than media consumption for the most part. Primarily, that's just me. I wouldn't be as productive, I don't think, with this. It's too glossy of a screen. I think I could use this very much so like I used to use it back in the day when I was doing tech troubleshooting and instructional design work as a full-time part of my job. And that's what I used to use this for. But it's just really a joy for me right now to be able to play around with it and kind of show you this. Again, this is the A16, but look how responsive, look how quick it is. It's snappy, it's fast. I love this new design that they've gone with, this iOS 26, the whole liquid glass theme. I really think it's just a really great experience. And you can just see how quickly this moves and how fast the whole process is. Now, of course, I still have to get used to how all of it works with the gestures. It's been a long time since I've had an iPad, like I said, so I'm still getting used to that. But for the most part, I'm going to hand this off to Melissa and the kids. They like to watch shows in the morning. This is a nice form factor for when they're sitting at the breakfast table and they want to watch something. It's still got a great camera. It's got a great build. We have YouTube on here, so let's go ahead and you can just look at the screen on this. We'll go to recents, and we will let's just use YouTube as signed out. No notifications right now. And we'll just go to my channel here. Turn this a little bit better here so you can see it, and we'll skip. And you may not be able to hear that really well just because of the microphone and the way it's positioned, but very good voice. The picture quality is amazing, and you can see that I guess we can't zoom in. So, I mean, you get really good clarity. It's a very nice screen. Really enjoy it. And I think that as we go ahead and turn this down so we're not distracted. Well, that was up, not down. So turn that down and, just kind of look at this screen. And of course, you see some glare, not an anti glare coating. I'm not seeing that glare from here, but it's because of the way the lighting is structured. But again, a very smooth, clear experience, very easy to navigate, and just really, fun and a lot of fun. So that's it for me on this particular piece. We'll hop back over and close out with a few final thoughts, and then I will get this in the hands of the people who are really, really going to enjoy it. So let's go ahead and hop back over and we will close out. Hey everyone, thanks for hanging in there with me. This has been a really fun video to make. It wasn't a long video, and in a lot of ways, it's almost like coming home. One of the first things we think of with kind of the modern age of technology is the idea of the smartphone and then the tablet. So this idea of the iPad, although not everyone's owned an iPad, but most people have either owned or engaged with a tablet of some form. And I remember when it came out, it was almost Star Trek-ish. It was almost sci-fi. Very much this idea of a pad, of a computer that you could hold in your hands and engage with and interact with. And it was almost magic because I am of a certain age. So I remember cell phones coming out and all of these different iterations. And then you get to the smartphone and you get to this smart tablet. And so this was almost like coming home for me because I used one a decade ago and really enjoyed it when I did use it. Was it going to be my computer back then? No. Is it going to be my note-taking or computer device now? No. Could it be? Possibly. I know a lot of people like Mark Kelly and others use their iPad, and MKBHD just recently did a video on just the sheer power now that it has iOS 26 of the iPad and the possibility of it being a computer replacement. So this little device, the A16, isn't going to do that. It wouldn't hold up the advanced editing or anything that's like really heavy duty and power hungry. But for what I'm going to use it for my family to watch videos around the table in the morning when they're eating breakfast, for us to consume some content, just vibrant colors and really just interesting, fun activities, it's awesome. And I think that as you are looking at different devices, yes, this is nothing new. You've seen a million unboxings of different iPads, but the iOS 26 is a game-changing software to me, as someone who comes from the old experience. It almost reminds me of when you first had the iPhone and the iPad and the way the iconography worked. It was more futuristic looking, and then they flattened it out. So it was much more button-like back in the day. And I don't know if anybody else remembers that, but I do. This seems like a return to that in some ways. And then unifying it with the Mac experience for Mac users, I think is really cool. Anyway, that's all I've got. Please like, subscribe. Thank you for visiting the channel. If you've come here before, keep coming back. If you feel the need, go ahead and subscribe, hit that button. And otherwise, I will talk to you all soon and keep on moving forward. Have a great day. Bye.